Hey, Tony Gas here. Now listen to me. What you want if you are a single woman and you looking for you a man, meaning you preparing to meet your husband. Let me tell you the things he need to have. And this in no real order, but I'm gonna tell you it's two things this man need to have, and these gonna be at the top two, and then you just work around it right here. But these are things, and this is all understanding a relationship with God. Like, that's neither here nor there. I mean, that goes without saying. So a lot of times people be too literal. A relationship with God, that goes without saying, because if a man got that, he already got everything. But I'm gonna break it down inside of that relationship with God and really being a man of the Holy Bible, and what you need to realize and understand. I'm gonna tell you, as a man, my number one superpower that I believe will make a man invincible to the wiles of the world is emotional regulation, aka emotional intelligence. That right there is the most powerful thing. So what you want to see is how this man handles change, disappointment, setbacks, tragedies, loss. You want to see how he handles it. What is his outlook? Does he lose it? If he loses it, like he completely loses it over something that you just don't understand why he would lose it over. And let me explain that. If he loses it over his child, then you should be able to understand that. If he loses it over you, you should be able to understand that. But if he loses it over just some foolishness, like getting cut off in traffic, having to wait too long on his table at the restaurant, if he loses it over minuscule things, you got to run. You will be in danger. You will be in danger. So understand that. That right there, that emotional intelligence, I'm still developing it. It's something you develop all your life, I believe, but we get better. And it's certain things that sometimes a woman may want a man to handle certain things differently, but a man really knows how it need to be handled. So it's certain times where a woman may want to get crunk, get loud, get out of control a little bit, and be mad that her man not getting crunk, but her man understand life and death. He understand how quick a situation can turn left. And so he understand the importance of him remaining calm and not overreacting. Whereas the woman may not be processing that because she feels invincible, because she feels she's a woman and she can't be killed, or that a man not gonna put hands on her, or that nobody gonna do nothing to her, because women are protected in a lot of different arenas, in a lot of different ways, by sayings like a man can't hit a woman. And so a woman will think that, oh, because it's customary and it's known that a man can't hit a woman, she'll think she could jump in any man's face and go to pointing in his face and yelling and screaming, or maybe slap him, or maybe punch him. And because there's this unwritten rule that a man can't hit a woman, that she won't get hit, not realizing that every man don't subscribe to that. And that, yes, while a man may subscribe to not hitting a woman, he may not hit her, but he may take the life of her man, or he may hit her man. because he doesn't want to hit her. And now she don't realize that she just wrote a check her man can't cash. But the man understanding that, because he could look at this man and tell that this man will whoop his behind, he trying to de-escalate and he trying to keep things cool, because even if the man can't whoop his behind, he don't want to hurt the man, or he don't want to take a life. And he knows his mentality if he got a snap. And so again, because of that, he may say, no, let me chill. And so this is something that women have to pay more attention to when you looking at a man and you considering being with a man. Does he? And that's why you gotta date a man for at least 12 months, because and if that 12 months has not presented like majority of the scenarios that you'll go through in life, and what I mean by that is, if you haven't seen a man handle loss on different levels, like loss of a friend or a family member to death, or loss of a job, if you haven't seen them handle disappointment and setbacks and things of that nature, you got to date them longer. Don't get married at month 12 just because it's month 12 if you haven't seen him go through those different things, because that's important to see. Because a man who is not emotionally intelligent may lose his mom, or lose his friend, or lose his dog, and then get on drugs and become violent, or become very distant, or very just like stagnant, like he's not living, he's not functioning, he's not getting up and moving and moving around and doing what he's supposed to do, because he's depressed. And so you need to be able to see how he handles these different things. Y'all gotta forgive me looking around, because for one, I'm watching road, but two, I'm riding through an area I don't always ride through, so I'm kind of scoping out the area, seeing what's the offer out here, because it ain't too far from where I live at. And so you got to think about that. And the second trait, what you want to look at in a man, is ambition. If a man is not ambitious, you going to be broke. He gotta have like a heart for work. Like he gotta not be afraid to work. If a man is lazy and he just always without a job, and when he's without a job, he like kicks his feet up almost, like he's not really trying too hard to get a job. He's not applying to 10 different places every day. He's comfortable living with a roommate, living off of a roommate, or living off his mom or dad, and he's just not really a go-getter. Like he comfortable kind of watching you do your thing, you're gonna be broke. You're gonna be broke, or you're going to be used for your money. So you gotta pay attention to that. The third trait you want to look for, and again, these ain't necessarily in order, I'm just kind of thinking through them as a man, and having to live as a man, and provide as a man, and protect as a man, and all of that. The third thing what you want to have in a man is confidence. If this man is not confident in his look, in his smarts, in who he is and what he brings to the table, you are going to have some issues, because an insecure man is a dangerous man. And what I mean by that is you can end up being abused in every way, in every sense of the word, if you have an insecure man, because he will be wondering who you're looking at, who you're talking to, what you're doing, where you're at, all of this and that. And we all kind of go through this at some time. Like, we all deal with this. Most men deal with it. The only men who don't deal with it are men who you may call nonchalant. And a nonchalant man is not actually a good thing. An emotionally intelligent man is different than a nonchalant man, because the way that nonchalant is being used and understood is really just a man who is not in tune with his feelings and expressing himself in a healthy, productive way. That's what nonchalant is. He's kind of a man who is indifferent. Like, he doesn't care, almost, is what it'll show up as. So you'll be better off with a man who shows some feelings and may show some concern, but concern is not the enemy of confidence. A man could be confident and also be concerned, meaning being a protector. So it's not the end of the world if a man says, hey, I don't think it's wise for you to wear that skirt into that environment that you're going into, or that venue you're going into, or that event you're going into. That skirt doesn't seem like it will be fitting to that. Now, if you're going over here, or like to this type of event, I'm all for it. That looks amazing for that. That's him being honest. That's him being protective, concerned. That's totally different than a man saying, hey, you could never wear what you want to wear. You could never wear a skirt. You can only wear what I want you to wear. And if I don't approve of what you want to wear, then you can't wear it ever. Like, and before you wear anything, you need to ask me, what are you wearing? Why are you wearing it? And you need to get my approval before you wear anything or do anything as far as clothes are concerned. And I get final say so. That's totally different. That's an insecure man who is a controlling man. So you got to understand that. Now, with those three things, you pretty much got what you need, but you can continue to go. The fourth thing I would say is compassion. And what I mean by compassion is a man who is willing to show passion. If you have a man who is just very stone cold and he doesn't want to like touch you, show like physical touch, tell you he loves you, tell you you're beautiful, it's going to be a very long, frustrating, empty relationship, because as humans we need to hear words of affirmation and we need physical touch. So a man who doesn't have compassion, it means he is unlearned and unhealed, and or he's either unlearned and unhealed, or unhealed, because he's not in tune with his feelings. And he's not in tune with his feelings most likely because he didn't receive compassion, because he was raised by someone who wasn't in tune with their feelings. And people who aren't in tune with their feelings typically are that way because of trauma. Something they've seen, something they've experienced, and something that just ripped their heart out their chest. So it's gonna be really hard to be with a man who doesn't have compassion, meaning showing passion, feeling passion, empathy, all kind of go hand in hand. It'll help the relationship a whole lot. Now, the next thing, what I would say, maybe the fifth thing, is a man who is communicative. He is a communicator. He doesn't have to be a great communicator, But he needs to be willing to try to say what's on his mind, say what's on his heart. He needs to be willing to try to express himself, because that's going to help the relationship a lot. Because what he's feeling, if he tries to express it, he gets it off his heart. And by getting it off his heart, it allows him to not harbor resentment, and it allows him to release. Because a man who doesn't express himself, he's not a communicator at all, he's more likely to talk to other people about the relationship, which will weaken the relationship and make the relationship more susceptible to haters and outside noise and people who don't have your best interests at heart. He also is more prone to finding an outlet outside of the relationship. So sometimes women get mad with men who bleed on their sleeve, meaning just kind of let everything out, let their feelings out. Sometimes women get mad with men who do that, not realizing that is a huge mistake for you to get mad with a man who expresses himself, because it's kind of like pressure. Pressure busts pipes. But if someone is releasing the pressure through communication, what that helps you kind of ensure is that he won't go out and be at the casino hiring escorts and strippers and binging on drugs, cocaine, marijuana. But a man, a human in general, not just men, but humans in general, have to have outlets. So if a person can't talk to you, they're going to be talking to somebody else. And so you want to make sure that you got somebody that when you need to have a conversation, they're willing to go there with that conversation. They're willing to talk about it. Talk through it, work through it. You need to make sure of that. If you don't have that, and you need to date until the point that he understands that communication is a non-negotiable. It's like my quote says, communication to a relationship is like oxygen to life. Without it, it dies. So you have to realize and understand that in order for the relationship to work. So these are 5 must-have traits in a man. And again, we should be not like one with the Lord, in the sense of God should be living in a man's heart. And these things will come to a man, and a man will operate like this if he has God in his heart. Let your in-laws who are by themselves, let them be at your house as much as they need to, or your parents. We came home yesterday and there's no need for my mother-in-law to be here still, but she's still here. And that used to annoy me. It used to bother me, because I just like my space, like my peace, privacy. But now I'm starting to realize, and the Lord been telling me, like, you gotta take care of the elderly. The older they get, they feeling lonely, or they just want to be around, because when they gone, and you can't get them back. And the Lord started to minister to me and say, listen, even with my parents, I talk to them on the phone, I talk to them, do everything I can. My dad, his anniversary is tomorrow. He had nothing planned. They tight on their finances, so I booked him a reservation at a really nice restaurant and sent him $300. And my mom, I take care of her. I take care of my mother-in-law. And I treat my mother-in-law like I treat my mom. I got both of them a Mercedes-Benz, and I pay for both of their houses. And I treat them the same. Even because if I'm one with my wife, then I have to treat her mom no less than I treat my mom, because we're one. And that's just a little bonus lesson that I've learned as a man and that God dealt with me on, because sometimes we give our parents or our in-laws a hard time, and God is not pleased with that, especially if they over the age of 60. The Bible say, it say young women under 60, don't take care of them, because they liable to get back in sin, get in sin. If you taking care of them, let them go work and do what they need to do. But over 60, we got to take care of the women who are widows or divorced or what have you. But hey, this Tony Gasson, God bless you. We'll talk soon.